Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today I want to have a brief look at OnlyOffice. This is a first impression video. This isn't a full review. I have not been using it a lot. I downloaded the app image, and what I want to do is I just want to see as a general view on the writer application, how easy is it to do the work that I need to do on an Office document. So having a look at OnlyOffice, this of course was recommended. Tech Haberdashy had said he's really been using it because what OnlyOffice tries to do is they try to have the best overall compatibility with DocX format. Now, the only cases I've seen LibreOffice not have compatibility is if you're doing something weird like clip art inside of a document or things like that. I don't have a means to test that right now, but I will try and test it for a more comprehensive review later. What I'm most interested in is how does OnlyOffice compare to LibreOffice where it comes to doing what I do, and that is produce books. So I have my science fiction novel here, Synaptergy. You can get a copy of this at tlm.li/s or synaptergy.com. You can find it over there. And I wrote this book entirely, wrote it, produced it, sent it to the printer in LibreOffice. And that really is where my comparison is. So I'm not going to look at OnlyOffice as compared to Microsoft Word because the last version of Microsoft Word I have is 2007. And I'm not all that interested in comparing these two. What I'm interested in comparing it to LibreOffice because a lot of people are saying, oh, switch to OnlyOffice. In fact, the people at OnlyOffice have also reached out to me. And I said, I will eventually have another look at it. I'm in the middle of a big super secret project, which will be unveiled sometime soon here. And so in the middle of all this, I said, well, I actually have a book that I just finished the first draft of the manuscript, and I just want to get a quick feel. How well does OnlyOffice stack up when producing a book that I'm going to send out to a printer? Is it easier to use? Is it harder to use? Can you even do what I need an Office document to do? So we're not going to look at the presentations. We're not going to look at the spreadsheets today. We're just going to look at the writer. And I'm just going to see if some of the basic things that I do to format a book, how easy is it to do within OnlyOffice, because this really is going to be a comparative to see, is this really this amazing suite, or is it just a writer document, a word processor of some form or another? Now, for people who say, well, this has the best overall compatibility, fine. Again, outside of the very rare percentage, I haven't seen LibreOffice not having that compatibility, except LibreOffice likes to prefer to save things in a doc file or in an ODF file rather than, or an open document. I think it's ODF file rather than a docx. And oftentimes on a Linux system, at least, you don't have crossover in the fonts. And so if you don't have the same fonts, that will obviously mess things up. So that really is the basic commentary. Now to do this, I went ahead and just put this on a Fedora VM that I have over here. Why Fedora? Well, I wanted to install the latest version, and if I had used one of the other VMs, I think I'd have Linux Mint VM. That's probably gonna be an older version, whatever else. The first challenge that I found out of the gate here is that OnlyOffice is going to be limited in its repos. Fedora does not have it. There's a Flatpak version. I was not able to install it. This is the latest Fedora on a Plasma desktop environment, and I was not able to install the Flatpak without doing some other systems or something missing in the Plasma desktop. And this is a VM for a brief video. I'm not spending an hour to figure out why Flatpak's not working. I went ahead and downloaded the app image though. So the good news is I can download the app image across any distribution, and that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, I pulled in a copy of Synaptergy. This is not the exact one that went to the printer. It would appear there's a few things that are missing from it, but nevertheless, it is pretty close. So let's go ahead and open it up first in LibreOffice and kind of give you a brief tour of this. I did download the main font that we're using for the text, which is this Keras SIL. I did not download this one, which is Biorhythm. So this text is not right. And then down here, this is kind of where we're seeing our formatting. So this is what it's going to look like in LibreOffice, and this really is exactly what it looked like inside of inside the printer. This is almost ready to send to the printer for printing. Now, where LibreOffice makes things really easy is to do your various styles. It might be different than Microsoft Word. I don't know. As I said, I don't use Microsoft Word on any real basis. But over here, if I want to change anything related to the paragraph style, it's over here. And this is kind of where the paragraph styles are. I can right-click, modify it, and I can change anything and everything in here. And everything with this exact style in the document will automatically be uploaded or just updated in the system. And then there's a variety of different styles that are easy to get to. These are individual character styles. We have these are framing styles. These are the page styles. So I have left page, right page. So I can easily say if I'm on a left page, the next page, unless there's some intervention, is going to be a right page. And likewise, if I pull up the right page, the next style is going to be left page. This means that when it's on the right page, then it goes to left page, then it goes to right page, and it goes to left page. You can kind of see this over here. If I scroll down and click on these, you'll see that it will alternate between the left page and the right page as I click on these different documents. Now, the only thing that changes is if you happen to have something else where the pages formats are going to be different. Why do you do that? Well, because when you're sending something to a printer, you want your gutter margin, which is on the inside, to be different than the one that is on the outside. You need to do this so that as the book opens up in the binding, the margins appear to be very similar on both ends. So you have a little bit wider of a margin by about, half, or not half, like maybe a quarter or so of an inch on the gutter on each side. And that means that your left and your right are going to be slightly different. So and that may or may not be reflected in this book. It is. You can see how this margin over here is a little bit off. These are important things to do in making a book easily formatted to send out to the printer. Now, since this is just a novel, there's nothing fancy in it like indexes, tables of contents, or anything like that. But if I wanted to add a table of contents to it, I can just come over here, hit my insert, and I want to do a table of contents. Now, I can do a table of contents, I can do an index, I can do a biography. So here is the type. You can kind of decide. So table of contents, what this is going to do is it's going to go through and you're going to pick what the entries are going to look like. And then each one of these entries I can slightly change. So if I hit OK on this guy, it's going to go through, and this one here, you can see it's going to do each one of the H1s, H2s on down, and then you can specify and tell it what it's going to be. Now, if I want to do an index file, then do some form of index, then you could actually easily do that in LibreOffice as well, utilizing the same thing there. Let's go ahead and delete this index. We're going to go ahead and show you how you might do another one here. Let's go under our insert. And over here, if you pick an alphabetic index, then here you can actually create a concordance file. So if you have a separate file that you'd like to index for, you can do that, or you can just go ahead and do manual entries. And it's going to create an alphanumeric system. So I'm not going to do that on this case here, just because I don't have a concordance file for it. I do use this since I write Christian, I have a concordance file, which is called an SDI file, which is basically just a CVS file renamed. So if I go ahead and click on that, this is what it looks like. Since I use this for Christian writing, then it will catalog things based on, basically I use this to index my Bible verses throughout a book. So very nice, very simple. One file, and then uploading that into the document will allow my document in LibreOffice to create a full index of everything that I need. So with that, let's go ahead and see how easy is it to do some of this type of formatting inside of OnlyOffice. So since I don't have it installed system-wide, I'm going to have to open up OnlyOffice as the app image first, and then we will open up our document from there. So here is our app image. Now, inside of OnlyOffice, we're not going to cover this here, but you do have the options for the online office. You do have the same thing through Calibora Project on LibreOffice as well. But you can create a new document just by clicking on that, or if you need to open a local file, you can browse for a local file to open, and I'm going to open up the OO, which stands for consequently OnlyOffice. So this is mostly unformatted. I do have this image that I dropped in there, which is going to be, what really? It's, dude, there it is. Okay, it's like, only show me one page. Out of the gate here, it's not looking really good. I'm not, what? Oh, that's right. I didn't add a table of contents. So it is actually not pulling data in right out of the gate. Let me close this because that's in my original openings. That's not the experience I had with this. Let me try opening the other one instead. Let's open a local file. See how this works this time. Give it a second here. It's basically just going through and it's still opening the file. There it is, 52. So out of the gate here, it is not formatting things. There's something really goofy it's doing here, and I don't know why. You can kind of see it's really throwing, like, I don't even know what it's doing. No earthly idea. Opening up the same document in LibreOffice. Exactly perfect. So automatically out of the gate, I'm actually seeing some formatting errors going from LibreOffice document to OnlyOffice. So I was actually hoping to be able to look at this with OnlyOffice, but there's something that's interfering that's not allowing me to do that. So that's interesting. So not sure what the problem is with that. Maybe it's compatible with docx files, but not ODT files. Well, that would be frightening that a open source application is not compatible with your open source document files. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and save it as a docx, and let's see what we can do here. So let's do a file. Let's do a save as, and we're going to save it as a docx file. That's a dot. That's a template. I don't want a template. There we go. Docx file. All right. So let's save this as a docx, and we're going to use the Word format. So make sure that there it is. It's right there. So let's go ahead, open this guy back up. See how this works. Okay, so it is appearing to pull in the docx file compatibility right. It just doesn't seem to work with ODF files. So good luck if you are going between LibreOffice and OnlyOffice. Now, note that did not have that problem on Synaptergy. If I open up Synaptergy, I played around with that already. I did not have any of those issues. So there, maybe it's something weird with this particular book. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that we had an index in there because I did not have one of those there. So with that, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. So the first thing that you're going to want to do when you are formatting a book is let's go ahead and get the layout set. So here, setting your size, custom page size. Now, I'll note real quick here that it defaults to centimeters. So if you want to change that, I think it's under advanced settings, and down here, change your unit of measurement down to inch. So there we are. I wanted to do that. Here's your size, custom page size. And this book is probably going to be formatted at 5.5 by 8.5. So let's see if I can get that formatted here. So 5.5 by 8.5. All right. So there we have it. So that went ahead and aligned all of the pages. So that's correct. Now, the next thing though we want to do is we want to figure out how we can get a left page and a right page. So LibreOffice, out of the box, it already has the left page, right page programmed in because it realizes most people, not most people, but people who are needing to format books need that functionality. So it's there, you just need to tweak it. This here, I have to think about how I might do this. That might be under margins, but again, note that our margins here is only going to be compatible for a single size. So the question is, how can I create a separate layout for this particular book or this particular page and then swap layouts for the next page? So that's a good question. So let's go ahead and open up Synaptergy and see how that handles that. Because this one here, remember the page size was good. It didn't have the error, even though this is the ODT file format. Didn't have that error. And let's see what we got here. Notice it's actually messing up the margins. So this does not seem to have a way to have margins set correctly. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. So we're going to open up Synaptergy in LibreOffice now as well. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's put a couple guys on the same page. Put these guys side by side here. Collapse that. Okay, so now what you notice here, see where these guys here are on LibreOffice is the little margin base that telling you where the pages are, because remember, one of these is a left page and one of these is a right page. You can see that the margins here are actually a little bit off. They don't line themselves up exactly the same. Over here, they do appear to be lining themselves up exactly the same. So it's actually rewriting my margins. So it's not adjusting for a left page and a right page. So it looks as though it's not going to be capable of getting my gutter margins exactly where they need to be. You won't be able to see this, but I'm going to test it on my screen just as a little test with my pen. And indeed, LibreOffice gives me the ability to have those margins offset. OnlyOffice, when I pull it up, I do not have the ability. So I cannot set a left page, right page format, which means I cannot actually use OnlyOffice to format a book in such a way that a printer for a book is going to want to use it. All right. So that is certainly a problematic thing. All right, so the next thing I wanted to look at, we can't do that. Next thing I wanted to look at is let's go ahead and see how we can change the text here. So here up here on the top are all of your different formats. So I can go ahead and change all my formats to these different guys here. And I don't have the option. I can update from selection. I can restore to default, or I can restore all default styles. I don't have an option to actually edit this easily there. Now, if I pull this guy down, right click, I still don't have any option to edit. Let's see if I can find an option to edit these. Formatting as style, create and update normal style. Okay, so let's update normal style. Not sure what that did. All right, let's go ahead and see if we have one for text. Maybe we just need to go through the book and we need to go in and just create a new style here. So yeah, let's right click. Formatting a style. Let's create new style. There we go. We're going to call this text. Let's just call it text since I didn't see one there. We're going to, next paragraph style is going to be Same as created new style. So this will populate that down. So now we're under text. There's update from selection, delete style, delete all custom styles. Don't accidentally hit that button. That looks like a nightmare scenario. Let's right click. We can't do anything there. Update text style. So I'm not seeing a way. Okay, let's show advanced. Okay, there we go. Maybe this is where we can adjust these. All right, so indents and spacing. So we can do left margin, right margins. We can do spacing before, spacing after, line spacing. We can do multiple. We can do exactly. We can do one. Some of the slowness seems to be effective to the app image, I'm guessing. Let's see if strike through updates it. So that just updates the word we're on. It doesn't actually update anything on the paragraph style itself. So I'm not seeing a way to edit the paragraph style that we created. So we created this text style. I'm not seeing a way to edit this. It's got to be here. I just don't see where it is. There's paragraph styles. We can do paragraph spacing. I don't have a means to edit the fonts. Even under font, I can't edit the font. I can change the spacing and the position. There's some paddings. There's comments, navigation. Let's see what navigation does. No, that's not what I need. So I don't see a way I can actually edit this new style either. So we created this new style. All right, let me try this though. Let me do this. Let's highlight this. Let's suppose I want to change the font. Oh, come on. Highlight. Fine, whatever. These are royal pain, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's update from selection, see if that changes. Okay, that changes the font. So now I have to go through the whole book and change all these, which is a little annoying, but I don't think LibreOffice has a way to do this easily either. Usually what I'm going to do is just highlight the whole thing, change everything to text, and then what we're going to do is find the categories like this one and then change these back. So this one's going to be a heading. This one's going to be a heading 2. So that's actually the same process you would do on LibreOffice as well. So the next thing we want to do, though, is if I want to make sure we have, let's see, paragraph spacing after. Let's do a little bit there. So that's good. Okay, so making a little adjustment over here and then right-clicking. So in order to make any real changes to this, you have to be over here, change something in all of the different settings, right-click, and then update from selection. That is a really, really clunky way to do stuff. Doable, yes, but clunky as all get out. So let's demonstrate that again. So here we'll make everything justified. So it's just going to justify the one, right click, and then update from selection. So that's how we need to do it. It works. It's not particularly intuitive, but it is something that at least you can do. Let me show you how to do the same thing though on LibreOffice. So let's get rid of this. Don't save you. Let's do this one. Okay, so in LibreOffice, what we're going to do here, let's go ahead and make the same brief adjustments. Let me show you how this is going to work. So we're going to pull this guy out. First thing we're going to do is page styles, default page style, modify, and we're going to change the width was 5.5 to 8.5. Push OK. Set this guy at its left page. Oh, hold on. We didn't push all the page styles, right? Oh no, we did. It's just that we need to change the left pages as well. So modify left. Okay. Now it automatically fixed everything, is all the right pages. So now let's go down to the page styles over here. So paragraph style. We're going to right click the text body, right click, modify, change your font. We can even change the size if we want really easily. Tabs and indenting, below paragraph, let's put the same. Okay, alignment here, justified, apply. We can do first line. Let's give ourselves just a little bit of indent on the first line. Oop, did I push reset? No, I think we're good. Apparently I pushed bold somewhere too, so let's modify. There it is. So there's actually how easy it is to do on LibreOffice. So when you're looking at comparing the two, so many people are pointing to and looking at things like OnlyOffice and saying, use this, it's so much better. The reality is not really. So this is, for me, again, just a first look. I've been producing books on LibreOffice for quite a long time. I think I have 7 of my own books out on LibreOffice, and I've done a few other formatting books as well. The reality is on LibreOffice, it's very easy. People keep on saying, have a look at OnlyOffice. It has better compatibility with DocX. LibreOffice also have good compatibility with DocX. The difference is, what's the default format? What are the available fonts? Outside of the very, very rare person who's embedding weird, funky shapes in their documents, LibreOffice is still going to work for a lot of people. Now, you might like the format of OnlyOffice. Maybe it is genuinely working better with DocX files. I don't know. But as far as the applications are concerned, I don't want something that's duplicating Word. It's too stinking hard to format books in. It is so much easier to do a book format in LibreOffice. Now, what I might do is I might play around with it a little bit more. I'm not going to say it completely sucks. Don't use it. Definitely use OnlyOffice if it's working for you. And it's good that there's multiple other things out there in case LibreOffice goes crazy. But on just a brief analysis of my first look, I think it looks too simple. It's too clunky. There's functionality that's missing If I want to do separate styles on page to page to account for a gutter margin in a book, I can't do that in OnlyOffice, so I don't have those particular options. Next, of course, it's lacking from several repositories. Of course, that will probably be resolved when it becomes a bigger, more mainstream system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to encourage everybody to go and have a look at OnlyOffice for yourself. Remember, you can download the app image, so you don't have to even install anything system-wide on your computer just to give it a try. See if it's for you. If you really like Word and Microsoft Word is just like, wow, this is like the application I want, I can see how OnlyOffice is definitely going to be your choice when you're comparing the two. But if you really need a lot more functionality, you really need a little bit more premium of an option, I still look like, just on my basic cursory analysis, I think that OnlyOffice is a little bit limiting in that way. That's my initial thoughts, and if I'm completely and totally wrong, respectfully tell me stuff in the comments. If you're like, yeah, you're stupid, I'll just delete your comment. I don't care. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, I did want to have a look at OnlyOffice. I've had a look at it here today. It definitely looks as though it's missing things. By the way, I didn't get to looking at indexing. I have not found any way to create an index, so I can't take my SDI file and create an index file like I can in LibreOffice. The table of contents is just as flexible. You by default it's going to pull H1, H2, H3, H4 all the way down to 10. Same thing LibreOffice does, but you can go in there and edit and specify certain styles that get put into different locations as well. And so these are all the things that you need to look at when you're comparing your product. In my case, having a look at it, there's functionality that I have to produce books that is missing from OnlyOffice. So I can't actually look at OnlyOffice as a big comparison. And since LibreOffice doesn't have any functionality that doesn't have any issues with it that I hate, I'm not really going to make a move from it in my regular day-to-day workflow. But anyway, I did want to go ahead and just show you guys this thing here. A little bit struggly through, but that's sometimes how playing with software is. And maybe I'll go around and look at the spreadsheets. Maybe I'll go around and look at the other things. The other thing I did notice, there's no databasing, there's no drawing application. So LibreOffice does have more programs at its core, but the reality is most users just need the word processing, the spreadsheets, and the presentations. And who knows? I think LibreOffice presentation is a little clunky. Maybe I'll try that out next and see, do I like OnlyOffice better for presentations? I don't know. So that is yet to be seen. But regardless, there is my brief look at OnlyOffice. Once again, if you are interested in science fiction, I do have this book, Synaptergy, available at synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s. That will give you the links to all the places you can buy it directly from me, or you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Barnes & Noble, you can get it anywhere else where you can order your books online, and we have a audio and ebook and a print book version of Synaptergy. So it's a science fiction, completely secular, not related to my Christian work at all, completely secular if you don't like the Jesus stuff. No mention of God. So, but if that's your thing, you can go ahead and have a look at that book. And that is completely produced on LibreOffice, of course, with GIMP, Sigil, and Audacity for the other formatting and the styles and stuff. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.